Hi, my name is Amber, and this is my sacred room where we discuss spirituality-based concepts, talk about things related to our own self-improvement, and to growing and learning from all of the spiritual teachings and from life's wisdom to become our best selves and to create spaces and lives that are truly sacred and aligned. So today I would like to talk about being the light. And this is something that I was thinking about recently and even earlier today when I was meditating about being the light and about you showing that light. When we think about when the scriptures were created, most of the scriptures from the most popular religions came about a few thousand years ago for most. And we see that one thing that is constant as a description of energetic power that is associated with God or the divine or the higher realms is that of fire. It's that of light. And this association with light and that being of God and of the highest realms. And so we can understand that correlation because when those scriptures came about, just how important fire, how important that was in the lives of people at that particular time, how much it mattered for you to have fire and be able to use that, to cook your food, to warm your house, and to be able to do so many other things that it was such an integral part of their lives that it makes sense that that would become such a prevalent symbol in religions all around the world and spiritual systems all around the world as one that describes that aspect that is of God, this fiery light aspect. And the thing is that that light, it exists, and it exists within each and every single one of us. And it's just a matter of you showing that light, which you will do naturally as you learn and grow into who it is that you truly are and that you're meant to be and meant to evolve into. As you grow in consciousness, as you grow in your understanding of yourself, not only do you grow an understanding of other things going on around you, but your light, it becomes that much stronger. And it's important that all of us are showing that light because that is how we dispel the darkness. And so I was thinking about, in particular, a scenario when I was working at a job, and it wasn't the best job. It was a job that actually involved me working second shift, which working different shifts can be challenging because it throws off your sleep pattern, and it can be, after a period of time of doing it, it can be kind of, difficult even for you to go to sleep and sleep a normal, time period as a result. So I was working this job. I was grateful for the job, but again, I was working the second shift and making the best of that situation. And I was doing everything I could to leave that job, and without success. And during the time that I was there, I ended up developing a relationship with the janitor who worked at night. And I remember I just spoke to him. I knew that he spoke Spanish, and so I just said, hola. And I just, just to acknowledge him and to thank him for, what he was doing. I appreciated him coming to, pick up our trash. And from that moment until the time that I left that job, we talked all the time. He was so appreciative and happy to have someone to talk to. And it just, I had to start to change even my lunch hour just to kind of accommodate when he would come around, because we would talk so much that it was interfering with me getting my work done. And so I would try to plan my breaks around when he would come so that we could, you know, have conversation, and that wouldn't be cut short or interrupted. And I came to learn just from talking to him that he had been in the United States for a few years. He told me about his family and his life. He was from Mexico, and he had been working specifically at that location where I had started working. He had been working there for 3 years. And in the 3 years that he worked there, he said not one single person had ever spoken to him. Not one. No one had ever said hello to him. No one had wished him well. No one had asked him, "Are you okay? How is your family?" No one in 3 years. And he expressed to me how grateful he was that I did, and that he had someone to talk to. And so in that moment, I just remember just so many things, but one, feeling very sad for him. And two, also just being grateful that I had people who spoke to me in my life. You know, I had my family here. I had people who I could make a connection to here. And I had to think about how grateful I was for that. And not that long after, I found out that I was going to be let go. Our department was being moved overseas. And when he found out that I was going to be leaving, it was more devastating to him than it was to me that I was losing my job, and it was right before the holidays. And he was so upset, because it mattered in that he had a friend. He had someone to talk to. And it was, as he said, such a pleasant and a joy for him just to see me smiling, and just have someone acknowledge him. Even if it was a day that was busy and we weren't able to talk, it mattered. It mattered to him. And I found out later on that there were other people as well that my interaction with them and my presence had benefited and blessed them. And so I thought about this, and I finally came to understanding and was reminded of it in meditation earlier today, in that be the light. That light, it is so necessary. And I was put there in this place, in this particular job, because it wasn't a place where there was a lot of light. I was put there to be a light. And it just so happened that probably the most important reason was to shine a light for that particular man, because he was at a very low point, and he was rather vulnerable, and he was also very lonely, and there were a lot of things going on with him personally that I was able to be a light and provide some guidance and some inspiration and some motivation and just encouragement. And so this particular work environment, we happened to work with a manager who was very temperamental and emotionally unwell. And I later found out some of the reasons why. And my heart went out to her. I had so much compassion for her, because she really did go through some devastating things. However, that's no excuse for treating people poorly, but we understand that hurt people hurt other people, and that was what she was doing. And because of that, I needed to be there. I needed to be in that space to bring light. And so I just say this to say, be the light, and understand that sometimes you will be in situations where that is exactly what you're doing. You're in a certain situation to be the light. Maybe it's just to one person, maybe it's to multiple people. But one thing about light is you don't have to have a lot of it for it to begin to dispel the darkness. One small candle in a dark room makes an impact. And if you have a light that gets turned on in one person, they can help to bring out the light in others. Imagine in the world that we're in right now, with so many different things going on and so much darkness, imagine more people shining their light. What would that do? Well, we know that it would illuminate the darkness, and the darkness would begin to be dispelled, because darkness cannot reign supreme in an area where there's light. Again, even a small light, it helps to dispel the darkness. It cannot be all consuming because there's that light there. So again, just recognize that you are the light, and that is the most important thing to begin shining your light, is just to remember that you have it. And it's important that you shine it. It is important because your light, whether you know it or not, it has a ripple effect. There are scientific studies that have been done, and a very good book that has some really wonderful references is called Power versus Force. And in that particular book, they actually have some studies that were done, and in particular, they were able to measure the frequency of hate and fear versus love. And you can see from the studies that they provide in this book that even a small amount of love, what that does to your DNA, and how that impacts your development, how that impacts others. And you can see also the impact of what hate or fear, and it's essentially broken down into two different emotions, love and fear. And you can see from the studies that fear breaks down your DNA. It breaks down your ability for growth and expansion, whereas being in love, being in the frequency of love, and all of those things that come with love, such as joy, gratitude, happiness, compassion, understanding, that vibration is so much higher, and it actually allows your DNA to expand and to grow and to evolve much more so than fear. And when you consider all of that, you have to think, this is why it is so important for you to know that you have light. Remember that you have value because you are of God. You are of the divine. You're just having a human experience. But that light that is within you, shine it forth, because it will not only help you to be better, help you to expand and grow, but it's going to have an effect. It's going to have a ripple effect. In this same book, they also provided some evidence on what certain illumined individuals have done throughout time, as well as those even into present. And they were able to actually measure their output in terms of the love and the energy that it exuded, how many people it impacted. And it's amazing to see, but on their on the studies that they provided, even someone who has just a small shift and changes their thoughts and their vibration, and then they begin to emanate this light, even just a small shift will have an impact on hundreds of people. That's a small shift. So imagine if you are truly exhibiting that light within you and you're really walking in alignment. Imagine what that will do, not just for you, but for those around you and the greater community in which you reside, and from there. So I just wanted to again reiterate the importance of you shining your own light, because that light is important and we all need to shine our light. And the more that we shine our light, the more that the darkness will be dispelled. And what a wonderful world we can create. And we are creating right now a new world. And we are in the age of Aquarius. And in this age, truth shall reign supreme and things will be revealed. And so now is the time. The past is the past, and the future is not here. The only thing that exists is right here and right now. And right now, you can be exactly that which you are capable of being, which is far more than you may have ever contemplated or realized. And that is because you are more than just a physical body. You are more than just a physical body. You have the ability to affect change. You have the ability to change your own life and the lives of people all around you. And so I thank you so much for listening, and I hope that some of this information was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.